Good evening, I'm Faye D'Souza. Thank you for joining me on Good News Tonight. This is my new show. As you can see, it's very sophisticatedly produced. It's also environment friendly because I use the same sheet of paper every day. So the idea with this bulletin, the Good News Tonight bulletin, is to tell you about the positive things that are happening so you know that things are not so bad, because there are enough people telling you about all of the bad news. So I'm just going to spend the next 10 minutes telling you about the good news that's happening in the country and in the world right now. All right, you guys ready? You guys ready for the good news? This is the big piece of good news tonight. The Supreme Court of India has just passed an order saying that testing for COVID-19 will be completely free across the country for everyone, in government and in private sector testing. Now here's the thing. Each test kit costs 10,000 rupees. The government testing was obviously free. The private sector was charging 4,500 rupees per test. The Supreme Court has just decided it will be free for everybody. Of course, there's a sort of thing that's unclear, where they haven't really said who's going to compensate the private sector. Will they have to go out of pocket? Or will the government give them the money? And if they have to go out of pocket, how many of them are going to volunteer to do that? But we do know that a lot of the testing companies in the private sector have been doing this because they believe that this ought to be done. So free testing from this for COVID-19 for everyone in the country, in private and in government hospitals, and that is good news tonight. So that's our first piece of good news tonight. Our second piece of good news comes from Kerala. Kerala says that new cases of the coronavirus have begun to decline in Kerala. According to the local media, they're seeing a flattening of the curve in Kerala. Now, this is what is being said. Kerala reported 9 cases of COVID-19 on Wednesday, in line with the decline that's being seen over the last 5 days. We've actually seen a tapering. So it was 13 on the 6th. It was 11 on the 4th, and it was 9. So basically it has been coming down. It's a little complicated, but it has been coming down. And they have apparently, the number of people under surveillance in the state has also declined by over 30,000 people between April 3rd and April 9th. So CM Pinarayi Vijayan has actually said that there is no threat of community transmission based on information so far. So according to the state of Kerala, the number of new cases and the number of people currently under surveillance for COVID-19 are in fact declining, and that is a piece of good news for tonight. All right, next piece of good news comes from Wuhan in China. So here's the thing. The lockdown in Wuhan, which was the epicenter, and I told you this yesterday, it was the epicenter of the COVID-19 outbreak. The lockdown was lifted. And as soon as it was lifted, remember, it was locked down from January. People have not been able to leave their homes. And you and I are going on 2 weeks right now. But those guys have been locked down for months, and that lockdown has finally been lifted. And today they were allowed to travel. I want to show you really sweet photographs of people leaving Wuhan because they've been stuck there for a while. I mean, they're all wearing like hazmat suits, and that actually looks like a raincoat, but hey, you know. So these are all people at the airport and the train stations, leaving Wuhan, heading out of there because they've been trapped there. They're going to other parts of China. Oh, I love this photograph. This one's really cute. With some random eggs in the bottle next to them. I'm assuming those are Easter eggs. One hopes. But that's a really sweet photograph. All right, so people in Wuhan are being allowed out, and they're being allowed to travel, and that is a really good thing. It basically, I mean, the reason why I see that as a good thing is because that means that you and I will also be able to, at some point, I mean, there is light at the end of this tunnel. If it can happen for Wuhan, it can happen for everyone. So that's good news tonight. That's good news tonight. All right, let's get to our next story. Quail eggs. All right, those are quail eggs? I don't know. I didn't know what quail eggs look like. So Anurag P says China really did us in. So here's the thing. I know a lot of people are a little worried about China. They're a little angry. Remember that if anyone suppressed the information, that's the authorities and the government, not the people of China. So we shouldn't really be angry at the people of China, because they're just like you and me. They're just trying to get through all of this, with jobs and with lives intact. Another piece of good news that comes in: Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey has pledged $1 billion for COVID-19 relief work. Dorsey took to Twitter and he shared a Google spreadsheet to track the flows of the fund, which has a model similar to Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg's initiative to allow flexibility of funding startups. So basically $1 billion from the CEO of Twitter to fund COVID relief work, and that is good news tonight. I'm going to show you guys the cutest thing. Okay, your next story is the cutest thing. Now this is not a COVID story, but you remember last year there were these bushfires in Australia where a large portion of their of their wildlife were hurt. Videos of koala bears who have now recovered from the fires being released into the wild and running up trees just to make you guys happy. Okay, see what I do. How can that not make you smile, right? So these are koala bears that have recovered from the fire and they've now been released back into the wild. That's the cutest thing. Let me see, what's our next story? This is a really cute story. So there's a 4-year-old in Andhra Pradesh who has donated his life savings, well, 4 years worth of his life savings, from his piggy bank in Vijayawada. He has donated 971 rupees to the Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister's Relief Fund. His name is Hemant. Hemant handed over his share to the State Communications and Information Minister, who congratulated him. Hemant was apparently saving for a bicycle, but he decided to give the money to the government instead because he wants them to be able to fight COVID now. I'm just going to find a photograph of that to show it to you because it's so cute. 4-year-old who has donated 971 rupees from his piggy bank. Oh my God, this 4-year-old is freaking adorable. Look at him, look at him. That's a little boy. He was saving for a bicycle, but he apparently, it's an ad that pops up and everything. He was saving for a bicycle, but he apparently decided instead to use that money and donate it to the Chief Minister's Relief Fund. There, that's another photograph. He's really cute. That's a little boy who 971 rupees. That's the kind of stuff that's going to save the world, guys. Okay. Actually, this is turning out to just be more fun than anything else. So the Kerala police has been using drones to find out if anyone's violating the curfew. And the Kerala police has now cut the visuals that they found of the drones and they put it all together and they've released it in a video. Now, this is not particularly good news. It's just news that will cheer you up, because people, when they look up in the sky and they see the police drone, they completely freak out, okay? And there is nothing funnier than this drone video right now. I will show it you. It is so funny. Hang on. And also the Kerala police being fairly naughty about the fact that they have actually cut this into a video and put it out. But it is so funny. Okay, so this is the drone.
This is the hashtag, like a tracer bullet challenge. me say it over the microphone, over the years. Let's see how my colleagues do it. And that's gone to the boundary like a tracer bullet. Good effort, Gavaskar. Not bad at all. Wow. Now having got used to the DRSness, I give you the thumbs up.
Gone like a tracer bullet.
Not bad getting there, young man.
There he goes again, Atherton, another inside edge. And it's going like a very slow tracer bullet.
You keep surprising.
That goes on for a while.
Keep surprising people. Brilliant.
But it's really funny.
Drives it through the covered region, goes like a tracer bullet.
Can you believe the police put that out? The Kerala police obviously has a crazy sense of humor. You gotta love them for it. Hopefully all of those people are actually quarantining like good people and not being bad. But next piece of, hang on, where's my paper? The production quality of the show will fall if I don't have my paper. Next piece of good news for tonight, and this is partially COVID linked but not entirely COVID linked, okay? So in Hong Kong, in the zoo, there are a couple of middle-aged pandas. There they are. There are the middle-aged pandas. They're in the zoo in Hong Kong. They've been there for 10 years. They've been in the same cage for 10 years. And now because of COVID, because there's a lockdown, and they've finally got some privacy and nobody is sort of like peeking at them constantly, the two pandas have had sex naturally for the first time ever. And apparently this has made zookeepers really happy because this is actually, they're actually hopeful that they will have a soon baby panda. But this is the story. Ying Ying and her long-standing sweetheart Li Li succeeded in natural mating today. This is the first success since the cute couple began attempts at natural mating 9 years ago. The park's veterinary and animal care team have been closely monitoring the giant panda's body conditions and behavior changes in a hope to bring about a wonderful pregnancy news to you all. Let's leave an emoji in the comment section for Ying Ying. So there they are. There's the happy couple. And apparently all they needed was for the humans to get out of their faces for a bit so they could have some romance and privacy. Now, if that's not good news, guys, what is? What is? That is good news. So that's good news. Two giant pandas in the Hong Kong Zoo who finally had some privacy because we sort of left them alone for a bit. There's another story I'd love to share with you. So the Lalit Hotel in Delhi has been doing some great work. They have actually been handing out rations and essentials to the transgender communities in Delhi and in West Bengal. And the Lalit in Goa has actually gone out to the neighborhoods around it, and it has been handing out masks and things like that to the people around in Goa as well. And that's really nice, and that's always heartwarming to see. So that's that. And let me see, I have this is another great story. So the in Mumbai, those of you who are in Mumbai, you know the dome, the NSIU dome in Worli, which is the largest sort of indoor performing arena. The government has turned it into a quarantine facility. It's amazing. Look at that. That's the entire dome. It has now been turned into a quarantine facility. And Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray has actually commented on this and said, and I quote, "The state government will leave no stone unturned in making sure the entire state will leave no stone unturned to win this war against this virus." And there's no mincing words there. He's been fairly clear about what he was saying. There's this other great story that has come now from Andhra Pradesh. In Andhra Pradesh, there is a young woman Sarpanch of the Gotpanda district. Her name is Azmeera Lakshmi, and she's leading from the front against the battle with COVID-19, spraying disinfectant in an entire village along with the sanitation workers. There is a visual of the Sarpanch. There's a young woman Sarpanch with she's actually disinfecting the village herself to make sure that everyone is safe. That's really cool. That is a really cool story. All right, I'm going to give you one last thing. Now, here's the thing. Now, this has been shared a lot, and I'm not sure if this is a recent visual or if it's an old visual, but there is a video that's doing the rounds, and I'm telling you this, so do not take this as official. Oh my God, this is true. I'm not sure. There's a video doing the rounds of a road in Coorg where the animals have all come out into the road. there are a lot of wild boars and they're just so cute. There's a lot of little pumbas and little baby pumbas. I'm going to show you that visual because it makes me smile, and I think there's anything that makes us smile right now is welcome, right? So I don't know if this video is from now or it's from earlier, or if it's Coorg or it's not Coorg, although the color of the mud suggests that it may be in fact Coorg, but I don't know. Let's just look at the visuals. Wait for the little kutti pumbas. I need an iPad. That is a good point. I do need an iPad. I should stop like this. Flipping thing is not working out, right? Okay, look at the little pumbas, guys. Be happy. Wait for the babies. Some of you can sing Hakuna Matata if you want to. That's so cute. So it does seem like a lot of like wild animals are in fact gaining their confidence to come out and occupy more space. I know the birds in my neighborhood are a lot louder than they used to be. There are a pair of sparrows that have built a nest on my balcony. I kind of like them though, so I'm okay with that. Okay, so no human interference indeed. Now remember, this is where we are. Free testing for everyone. Remember that if you need to get tested for any reason at all, just go out and do it. Do not be afraid. Do not be embarrassed. We're all here to help each other out, and if we get tested, we take precautions, then we keep everyone safe. That brings me to the end of Good News Tonight. Before I sign off and give you my top high quality production sting again, I'm going to remind you, Kevin Roderick's Bad. I'm going to remind you to stay safe, stay at home, stay happy. And I'll be back tomorrow with more good news.